Hey, 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 you know what day it is. What day is it? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. It's Tuesday Tea with D. 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 Hey, boo, hey, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and iSpeaklife mentor, your personal life strategist, here with another weekly dose of Tuesday Tea with D. And can I tell you something? I just realized as I was preparing for today's recording that this is my 100th recording of Tuesday Tea with D. Can we? I normally have pom poms. I should have music. I should have like drum lines, something for today. Like, we have been doing this thing for a minute. Like, this thing kicked off in 2020 during COVID. And I can't remember when my first recording was. Um, but I remember saying I wanted to do something to re engage my YouTube channel and to continue to stay connected with my tribe, as during that time I had momentarily stopped going live via my morning life scope. Life was lifing, COVID was COVIDing, all the things were happening, we were transitioning. And to think back to the fact that this is the 100th recording of Tuesday Tea with D, I don't even know how I feel about that. Like, I'm like, man, like, this is super exciting to think that I've been recording 100 episodes, I guess, of tea, 100 servings of tea. What you think about that? Like, let me know in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Like, I feel like had I like paid attention to the fact that this was the 100th one, I might have did it live. I might have did a Tuesday Tea with D live. I don't know, child, but I'm like, and I'm here, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm thinking like, do I want to do another 100 episodes? Do I want to stop here? Do I want to do something different? Like, I'm gonna give myself permission to kind of be open to that. But I think like I'm excited about this accomplishment, and I'm gonna celebrate this win. Like, this is huge, right? 100. Like, who knew? So before we spend any more time, like, just kind of relishing in that, because it is a celebration, I do not want to take up all of our time together talking about our 100 episodes. Like, I could just think about, like, there's so many different conversations that I've had with you all over the past couple of years that I'm like, man, like, this is amazing. Like, even this month is a special month because this is the 4-year anniversary of my not only of my inner circle, but this is, I want to say, no, this isn't for my I Speak Life Society, but specifically for my inner circle, because I have a few anniversaries coming up. But this, it's been 4 years since I created my membership community. And I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I'm really even excited about the fact that, like, for me, longevity, consistency has been really important for me and my community. And so, if you are an I Speak Life Inner Circle member, shout me out. If you're watching, let me know you are here. Holla to the Inner Circle members. And even if you're a past Inner Circle member, maybe you're not a member anymore, like, I need you to come back, right? But I want to say, hey, girl, hey, how you doing? And let's get to the tea, right? I am feeling like all nostalgic right now. We could sit in this moment. But today's tea is my pomegranate green tea, one of my faves. It's got the ginger honey and then the fresh squeezed lemon in it. Mm. And of course, child is good. Mm-hmm. Mm. Ah, that's good. And so, if I'm sounding a little nasally, let me just let you know. Those of you who know, you've been with me for a minute, child. You know the allergies are doing what they do. And so my sinuses are doing what they do. So I'm not sick, child, just my sinuses. So I've actually decided, I've been looking up like different teas that I can take that, help with allergies. And there's a few of them, but a few of them are like ginger, peppermint, green tea. There's one other tea, starts with an R. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to look into that as well. And so I'm gonna not necessarily. I do have my Zyrtec child and my Flonase and all the things, but I also have my teas to be able to kind of deal with these sinuses. The other thing that I have to do is I have to go to a farmer's market or a store that sells like local honey, because I've heard that when you take honey from the local area that has like the pollen in it, and don't quote me on how I'm saying this, but local honey helps because it comes from the bees, and the pollen and all the things and how it works together. I don't know the whole story, but basically, local honey is good for your sinuses and your allergies as well. So I do not have any more, but I'm gonna go get some, and hopefully that will help as well, child, because the throat is itching, the nose is stuffy, the eyes be itching, all the things. So let's get on with today's conversation on our 100th episode and serving of Tuesday Tea with D. Today's conversation and the question is: have you gotten lazy? And you thinking like lazy, like about what, child? I don't know. So this conversation actually kicked off on Sunday during our worship service at church. And it really kicked off me watching the sermon by Sarah Jakes Roberts. Shout out Sarah Jakes Roberts, wherever you at, boo, if you ever catch Tuesday Tea with D. And she had talked about, the message was called Protecting Your Edge, but she had talked about how sometimes God will change your routine, which resonated with me a lot because I feel like God is changing my routine. There's a lot of stuff happening in my life lately where going back to what used to be really just doesn't resonate, right? Trying to do what used to work, and God is like, no, I'm doing a new thing, right? And we be resistant, like, okay, but the old thing worked, and God is like, but no, because I'm doing a new thing. Don't you see it, right? Okay, so with that, y'all can tell I have a good conversation with myself, right? Me and the Lord, we be talking. And so with that, in Sunday service, after that, there was this shift where I felt like God was saying, we've gotten lazy in our praise. We've gotten lazy in our worship. We've gotten lazy even in our time with God, our Bible study with God. And God has already been talking to me personally about wanting extra time with him, and even lengthening the time that I spend with him. Like, he's basically been saying, I want more. And so as I was chewing on that, literally we had a amazing service, just a prophetic led, spirit led service. Like, God, whatever he was doing, he did it. Okay. And then transitioning into Monday's conversation in the iSpeaklife Society Facebook group. I didn't go live yesterday because I'm offline the first 3 days of every single month. I've started going back to that as of March or April of this year. I took a break, and really because of the way my lifestyle is, I normally can just pull away when I need to, but I'm back to it because, again, this whole idea of this pivot, this shift, what God is doing, I feel like I need to really like pull away and sit and get quiet and refocus on some things. And so I've also decided, if you know anything about when I used to go live, even if I was live, like if let's just say the first and second and third were like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we were not live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because I was offline. And so Monday, something in me Monday morning and even Sunday, and I was like, no, I feel like I need to totally be offline. Like, I had scheduled posts and different things like that. But as far as like going live and like showing up, I was like, no. And so I shared this conversation as a video because I had promised just to share a message. And the message was about, have we gotten lazy? Like, not to get lazy in our time with God, not to get lazy in the things that God, is calling us to do. And so that's where the title of this conversation has come from, around, have you gotten lazy? Have you gotten lazy in your prayer time and your worship time? Have you gotten lazy in your Bible study time? Have you gotten lazy in your quiet time? Have you even gotten lazy in working out? Have you gotten lazy in taking care of yourself? Have you gotten lazy as it relates to you? Have you gotten lazy even to how you show up for work, how you show up to do your work, how you show up in your business, how you show up in your marriage? Have you gotten lazy? Have you gotten comfortable? Have you gotten so comfortable that it's routine? And one of the things that I mentioned and pray in our, I do what we, it's our opening prayer to service, is I asked this question. I said, let us never, and it wasn't a question, it was more of a statement around, let us not get so comfortable that we treat God common. And I think sometimes we get so comfortable that we think the things that God has blessed us with, and even the God who has blessed us with things, we get real common with him like he's our homeboy. And yes, we see like t-shirts that say like Jesus is my homeboy or whatever, but and that's really just to say you're in relationship with him. But the reality is like God is not our homeboy. Like we are not, we cool, but at the end of the day, like he is not us and we are not him. His thoughts are not are like ours. His ways are not like ours. They're so much higher than we could ever think, right? Just to think about the fact that now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. Like that's how big he is. Like as big as you can think it, he can do bigger than that. And so, have we gotten lazy in our approach to God? Have we gotten lazy in our relationship with God? Have we gotten lazy in maybe even our relationship with others? Like, in what areas of your life have you gotten lazy? And I'm really feeling like this month is going to be a conversation around consistency, because I also feel like a lot of times we'll say, well, I really need accountability or I need X, Y, and Z, but you're not doing the work. And so people can't hold you accountable to something that you're not doing. People can't hold you accountable if you don't even hold yourself accountable. And so people can't baby you and hold your hand. You're not 2 and 3 anymore. And so in some instances, you've gotten lazy in some of the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. And like even in spiritually, like you waiting for God to coddle you in some things. And God is like, no, I've called you higher than that. Like I'll meet you where, and I tell my community this, like I will meet you where you are, but I'm not gonna stay there. Like I can meet you there, but I can't stay there. And so and sometimes I'm not even coming to get you. Like in some instances, you got to come where I am, because when I come where you are, it's literally like you want me to stay there. I can't stay there. And God is saying, I can only meet you so far. Now you got to come to where I am. You've gotten lazy. You've gotten comfortable. You've even gotten common. You're not common. You're not, conventional. You are unconventional as well. And so when you have this understanding that that is who you are, you move different. And so I just wanted to really come and give you a quick little chin check and ask, have you gotten lazy? In what areas of your life have you gotten lazy, specifically the spiritual aspect, right? Because sometimes we can be saying, I don't hear anything, or God is not talking to me, or I don't have real clarity about a thing. And it's really because you have not, in some instances, turned your plate over. And so fasting should be, as a believer of Jesus Christ, you should be fasting consistently. You should be subjecting your flesh, right, to spiritual submission. And so, I don't always fast during my 3 days offline, but I'm always working to make sure that I'm fasting at least once a week. Why? Because I want to make sure that my ear is tuned. Sometimes I might do it twice a week because I need my flesh to know my flesh is not in control. And a lot of times we get lazy. And the reason we get lazy is because we let our flesh talk as opposed to our spirit, right? We cannot be led by our flesh. We got to be led by our spirit. And so that thing just kind of rang up in me these last couple of days, and it's still ringing in me. And I'm really still just kind of like in contemplation around what that looks like, right? What does it look like when we have decided, when we come into the knowledge of understanding that we've gotten comfortable, we start to recognize or see God as common when God is not common, and we get lazy in some areas, right? And sometimes we get lazy simply because we've accomplished a thing. We're in a good space. God has blessed us immensely. And we like, God, I'm good. Like, I don't need nothing else from you. And God's like, this ain't even it. And so then God has got to uproot you. And so you've gotten lazy just because you've gotten comfortable because things are good. And so I want to really, as your coach and your life strategist, challenge you to ask yourself, in what areas of my life have I gotten comfortable? You know what I mean? Like in what areas? Because there's always a new level. There's always like something new to explore with God. There is always something new to experience with him. And I think we can't get comfortable in where we are, thinking that that's all that there is to it. So I feel like I've shared what I needed to share today. And if something comes to me after I share this, then I will. But I want to invite you to come and be in community with me and my inner circle ladies. This month specifically, because this is our anniversary month, I'm going to be spending a lot of time talking about the inner circle. And I'm going to put this up so that you can see this. The inner circle is my membership and my mentorship community of faith, where it's helping push, provoke, and propel overwhelmed and overthinking Christian women to get out of their own way and get equipped so that they can take their next best step in life, business, and ministry. It is $470 for the year or for $47 for the month. There's a monthly live training. There's monthly accountability and goal setting. We do a monthly co-working session every single month. There are pop-up Q&As that I do. There's also a private community. And there are some other things that are being in the works, some in-person meetings, quarterly check-ins, different things like that, just to kind of make sure that we are engaged. We're continuously being intentional about building community. And the other part is I've been really quiet about bringing in new members. And really just because God has been shifting me around equipping his daughters for the kingdom in the inner circle. And so I want to be clear around who I'm talking to when I'm putting this out there. And it's weird because God has assured me that who I'm talking to is who I've always been talking to. It's just he really wants us to make sure that he is not left out of the equation of the conversation we're talking about around getting out of your own way, right? And so I want to personally invite you to join the inner circle. You can go to iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com, iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com to join. As a matter of fact, as of today, June 4th, 2024, if you get in now, you can join us by next Tuesday to be a part of, to get in and join us for the monthly training. We meet every second and fourth Tuesday each month. And if you can't join us live, then you can always check out the replay. There might be over 100 trainings in there. There are 3 years worth of training. Might not be 100 because I do once a month. So let's just say maybe 30 or 40. Might be more than that, but there are 3 years worth of trainings in there where you can go in. And even if you're not able to join us live, you can get what you need. And so in this space, when we talk about needing accountability, needing a push, needing someone, who can kind of give us that chin check, the inner circle is the next space, that's the next best space for you to be as it relates to being in community with me. Because, you and I can talk here, but I don't really get a chance to look you in the eye, during our Zoom calls and ask you questions and allow Holy Spirit to make divine downloads that I can give to you during our time together. And that's probably the next best way to be able to have access to me, because there's no coaching there, but I do Q&As there often. And because my incubator is closed until December, this is probably the next best thing for you, unless you do a strategy call, a 90-minute strategy call. But I really also think that for women who are still looking to find their place in their space, finding safe space to land where they can kind of sort through, right, this space of like, am I getting lazy? Like, what's really going on with me? And here's the other thing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Sometimes it may not be that you've gotten lazy, but there may be some things that you may need to deal with. And so you've gotten lackadaisical because there are some hurt, some pain, some trauma, some, situations, right? So, some situationships that you may have to deal with. And so because you have some of these things happening, it has caused you to become lazy because it has weighed you down. And so when you get in spaces like, the incubator or the inner circle, we get to tap into what's really going on, and I get to ask questions. But here's the thing that I will say. If you are not ready to do the work, and if you are not ready to show up and be present for for the trainings, and not just live, but just in general, like being accountable to say, I may not be able to be there live, but I'm going to go and watch the training. And if I have questions, I'm going to ask. I'm in a space now where I can no longer baby folks. You got to be willing to do the work. And I feel like if God is doing that with me, if my coach is doing that with me, then I got to do the same thing for you. And most people will say, well, you've never done that. I haven't, but I feel this shift, right? I feel God stretching me. I feel God changing my routine. And so as he's doing that with me, then if you're going with me, then you got to be able to shift and transition with me, right? And so I appreciate you being a part of my YouTube community, just being a part of the Trueheart Speaks and the I Speak Life community. But I'd love for us to take this relationship to the next level, right? I want you in the inner circle. I want you to go to iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com, iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com to join, so that you can join us next week for the training. As of today, June 4th, 2024, if you're watching this any other time, you can join anytime, right? But there's a big push this month for me to bring in new women for the inner circle. So, with that being said, like I said, I think I've said what I needed to say around you kind of thinking about have you gotten and thinking about the areas of your life that maybe you have gotten lazy. The focus today is have you gotten lazy with with your approach to God and your relationship with him and the time that you spend with him. But there may be other areas of your life that you're thinking, man, like I need to get back on it, right? I need to get back outside and start walking. I need to maybe I've gotten lazy around my house, and so there's some things that I need to tidy up on. I've gotten lazy in my marriage. Um I'm not as present as I need to be with my husband or my wife or my children. And so whatever it might be, right? I want you to get your journal out and I want you to really ponder what areas of my life have I gotten lazy. And I really want you to ask the Lord, like, Lord, where have I been lazy? Because sometimes you might not be able to see it because you're in it, but God will say, you this, and this. Okay. And when he shows you that, and when he says it, I want you to be open, not be offended, and be like, well, no, like I feel like no. I want you to be open to say, okay, where do I need to step it up? And how do I need to step it up? Be open. Okay. My sinuses is kicking in as you can hear. I think I done got all of you done got all of me as you can before these sinuses kick in. But I think we can all as we are, and here's another thing. We're in a new month. Happy June. I apologize for not saying that in the beginning. We are officially in the last month of the first half of 2024. And so that's crazy to me that we're literally getting ready to close out the first half of this year already when I feel like we just started. Crazy, right? So, as you are thinking about how you want to move in the second half of the year and even this month, like let's not leave out June, like a whole lot can happen this month. But the reality also is, what does it look like for you to step it up in those areas, spiritual first, and then any other area as it relates to laziness? Where have you become maybe too common with God or with your spouse or with your children? And don't use it as if like common as if like they're not a big deal. And God is absolutely a big deal. Your spouse is absolutely a big deal. Your children are absolutely a big deal. Your job, your business, you are absolutely a big deal. And so maybe you've even gotten lazy with you. And so where do you need to step it up a little bit in order for you to shift gears into this new level? Right. So, with that being said, I hope that today resonated with you. I am so excited that we just completed our 100th recording of Tuesday Tea with D, and I will keep you posted on the future of Tuesday Tea with D. As of right now, I will be back next week. And if not, I'll come back next week and we can talk about that. But I'm really excited about whatever this new season, this new level, this new whatever is coming after this or in addition to this. But I really want to say thank you for being here. Because I know many of you watch every single week, even if it's not right on Tuesday. Like I might send the email or a text message out, or you're subscribed. So make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure you comment, say happy 100, something, right? If you're watching this video and you made it to the end, make sure you congratulate us, right? Because we did this together. And then also share this with someone. If there's someone in your life who you're like, man, like we just had this conversation about stepping it up or whatever. And even if you didn't, like, you know what I say, share it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, so that they can get on the juiciness, right, of the tea. But also, just make sure you're subscribing because as new things come up, as I am venturing into doing new things, you'll be connected. But I really want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for being a part of my crew. Thank you for liking my videos, commenting on my videos. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for praying for me. Thank you for standing in the gap for me. Thank you for cheering me on in my little corner, right, of this world. And thank you for allowing me to pour into you because I don't take that for granted. I don't take what I do for granted. Sometimes I think I minimize and I think I make common what I do because it's what I do, and I don't really realize the impact that what God gives me to share really does have an impact on the people who watch my videos and who participate in my trainings and who coach with me and all of the things, who come to my events, all the things. And so I really want to say thank you. I am grateful. I'm really grateful. Like when I think about 100 episodes, 100 recordings that we've experienced together, like I know people who give up at 10. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a huge win for me and I'm going to celebrate this. And I'm excited about it and I'm going to be talking about it for the next couple of days because I didn't know that today was our 100th episode recording of Tuesday Tea with D. So make sure that you go to iSpeaklifeInnerCircle.com to join. There is the option to join for 7 days for $7, and then it goes, and then you will be charged this $47 for the membership. And same thing with the yearly, like you can sign up for, 7 days for $7. And then after that, it goes up to, then you'll be charged for the year for $470. But just think about what would happen if you showed up for you in community. You asked the questions, you watched the recordings, you did the work, and just think about where you could be in 6 months. If you did the work, right? If you stopped being lazy, right? Have you gotten lazy, right? As it relates to you and your life and your purpose and your dreams and your goals, that's a whole nother conversation. Because today we're talking about as it relates to God. And maybe I'll come back next week and talk about that. But like, have you gotten lazy with regard to you? Right? We talked about that last week. If you missed the you experience, if you join the inner circle, the recordings and the replays are in there. But we had a really good conversation last week around reclaiming you. And so in some areas we've gotten lazy. And so last week we reclaimed ourselves, taking back our mind, our time, and our voices. And so if you miss that, then you get access to that in the inner circle. So with that being said, have an amazing week, have an amazing day, and I will see you next time on Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D.